activity focuses on Domain 4, Curriculum and Planning. It addresses teachers' knowledge and interaction with the national and local curriculum requirements. This domain encompasses their ability to translate curriculum content into learning activities that are relevant to learners and based on the principles of effective teaching and planning. This domain expects teachers to communicate learning goals to support learners' participation, understanding, and achievement.
The Philippine Professional Standard for Teachers is a comprehensive framework used in the Philippines to guide the professional development and assessment of educators. The main 4 within the PPST is dedicated to curriculum and planning. In this domain, teachers in the Philippines are evaluated on their proficiency in designing and planning effective instruction. This assessment includes ensuring that their curriculum and lesson plans align with the learning competencies outlined in the curriculum guide or established by the Department of Education. Furthermore, teachers are expected to employ innovative teaching strategies that engage students in the learning process and utilize appropriate learning materials, resources, and technology. They are also assessed on their ability to implement assessment that measure student learning and provide constructive feedback as well as their skills in personalizing instructions to cater the diverse needs of students, including those with special educational requirements. Long-range planning encompassing an entire school year and daily lesson planning are also critical components of Domain 4.
There are several types of lesson plans that educator can use depending on their teaching styles and needs of students. Some common types of lesson plans includes: first is the 5E model, gives both teacher and student an approachable framework for learning new concepts with hands-on activities. Several studies analyzing the model prove its effective because students are provided with time, props, and several opportunities to deeply engage with the learning object in a way that promotes connections between what is known and what is meant to be learned.
The 5A lesson plan is an instructional model that consists of 5 phases: engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. It is a constructivist approach to learning, which means that students learn by actively constructing their own knowledge. The 5A lesson plan is designed to help students develop a deep understanding of concepts and skills by allowing them to explore, investigate, and apply their learning in meaningful ways. Here are the parts of the 5E lesson plan model. First is the engage. The engage phase is designed to grab students' attention and pique their curiosity about the topic of the lesson. This can be done through a variety of activities such as demonstrations, experiments, thought-provoking questions, or real-world stories. Next is the explore. In the explore phase, students have the opportunity to investigate the topic of the lesson more deeply. This may involve conducting experiments, collecting data, making observations, or solving problems. Next is the explain. During the explain phase, the teacher provides students with a clear and concise explanation of the key concepts and skills that were explored. The teacher may also introduce new terminologies or models at the same time. Next is the elaborate. In the elaborate phase, students have the opportunity to apply their learning to new situations. This may involve solving problems, designing and conducting experiments, or creating projects. Next is the evaluate. The evaluate phase is used to assess students' understanding of the concepts and skills that were taught in the lesson. This can be done through a variety of activities such as quizzes, tests, projects, or portfolios. What is the benefits of the 5A lesson plan? The 5A lesson plan has a number of benefits for both students and teachers. For students, the 5A lesson plans provide a hands-on, inquiry-based learning experience that helps them to develop a deep understanding of concepts and skills. For teachers, the 5A lesson plans provide a structured framework for planning and delivering lessons that are engaging and effective.
Second is explicit instruction is a way to teach in a direct, structured way. When teachers use explicit instruction, they make lesson crystal clear. They show kids how to start and succeed on a task. They also give kids plenty of feedback and change to practice. And last is a traditional dated lesson plan refers to a comprehensive outline or plan that teachers create to guide their instructions. It included specific objectives, instructional strategies, resources, and assessment for each lessons. This type of lesson plan often included detailed step-by-step instructions for the teachers to follow during the lessons, ensuring structured and organized approach to teaching.
Traditional planning in teaching is a method of lesson planning that typically involves organizing a lesson into a set of objectives and activities designed to lead the students to meet those objectives. It often involves identifying the content to be taught, developing learning objectives, sequencing it, and selecting activities and materials that supporting student learning. Oftentimes, it will overlook the means of the measurement and focuses more on content. Traditional planning helps the teachers plan and organize lessons to ensure that the students are provided with the best possible learning experience from the class to class. Objectives in context of education and lesson planning are clear and specific statements that outline the students are expected to learn or achieve by the end of the lesson or courses. Objectives are essential for guiding teaching and assessing student progress. They help both teachers and students understand the intended learning outcomes. How to create effective lesson objectives. Step 1. Identify your goal. Start by determining what you want your students to learn or accomplish. Be specific and ensure your objective is measurable. Step 2. Use action verbs. When crafting your objectives, use action verbs. These verbs indicate what student will do or achieve. For example, student will analyze. Second, student will demonstrate or student will solve. Step 3. Be specific. Objectives should be clear and concise. Avoid vague language or jargon. Students and teachers should easily understand what is expected. Step 4. Consider the Bloom's taxonomies. Bloom's taxonomies provides a hierarchy of cognitive skills from lower order thinking skills like remembering and understanding to higher order thinking, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Choose the appropriate level for your objectives. So step 5. Align with your standard. Ensure that your objectives align with your educational standard and learning outcomes. This helps you stay on your track with the curriculum. Subject matter. Subject matter refers to the specific content, topic, or subject that's being taught in that particular lessons. It includes the core materials and information that students are expected to learn and understand during the lessons.
Procedure are the steps and activities the teachers and learners will do during the lesson towards the achievement of the lesson's objectives. Under procedure, we have preliminary activities such as greetings, prayer, and checking of attendance. Review are an essential tool for ensuring that students are understanding and retaining information effectively. Motivation. Once you have written the lesson objective, you are ready to plan the motivation. The purpose of the motivation portion of the lesson is to generate interest in the lesson topic. This is also a great opportunity to access the students' prior knowledge about the subject or topic of the lesson. Usually, the motivation is a very short activity, 2 to 3 minutes for younger children, and can be longer for older students depending on the topic and activity. Here are some examples of motivation activities. Create a KWL chart, sing a song related to the lesson topic, share a poem or finger play related to the lesson topic, bring in an interesting item for the students to examine which is related to the lesson topic, show an interesting picture to discuss which is related to the lesson topic, have a grab bag of items where students guess how the items are related to the lesson topic, and show a short clip of a YouTube video if appropriate to the lesson topic.
Lesson proper is a critical component in the structure of a lesson plan. It refers to the central and most substantial part of the lesson where the main content is delivered and where the primary learning objectives are addressed. Also, the lesson proper is a critical phase in a lesson plan as it where the core teaching and learning activities occur. It is important for teachers to plan this section effectively to meet the learning objectives, keep students engaged, and facilitate understanding. In this part also hooks students' attention and prepares them for the new material, where the teacher introduces and explains new concepts, skills, and knowledge and wraps up the lesson and review the key points.
An application in lesson plans refers to practical or hands-on activities or tasks that students engage to apply the concept, skills, or knowledge they have learned. It allows students to actively participate and practice what they have learned in a real-life or simulated context. The application phase of a lesson plan often involves activities such as experience, group work, discussion, problem solving, tasks, role plays, or projects. It helps students to deepen their understanding, develop critical thinking skills, and transfer their learning to real-world situations. Generalization in a lesson plan refers to the process of summarizing or synthesizing the main points or concepts taught in a lesson. It involves helping students make connections between their specific content or skills they have learned and the broader concepts or ideas they represent. This can be done by providing examples, asking students to apply what they have learned to different situations, or encouraging them to make connection with the prior knowledge or experiences. Generalization helps students understand the relevance and applicability of what they have learned beyond the immediate lesson or context.
Evaluation is given at the end of a lesson. It is typically a test, but can also be an essay or project that the students do independently without any guidance from the teacher. You can determine the effectiveness of your lesson, whether it needs to be revised, based on how well students perform on this assessment. Additionally, it describes the process of evaluating and assessing students' progress, learning outcomes, and the efficiency of teaching strategies based on the resources employed throughout a lesson or instructional unit. It entails compiling data and evidence on the knowledge, abilities, and accomplishments of the students in relation to the lesson's learning objectives.
The table of specifications is a tool used to ensure that a test or assessment measures the content and thinking skills that the test intends to measure. Thus, when used appropriately, it can provide response content and construct validity and evidence. The primary purpose of a table of specification is to ensure alignment between the items or elements of an assessment and the content, skills, or constructs that the assessment intends to assess. The TOS can help teachers map the amount of class time spent on each objective with the cognitive level at which each objective was taught, thereby helping teachers to identify the types of items they need to include on their test.
For the summary, the Department of Education or DepEd curriculum and planning in the Philippines are guided by the Philippine Professional Standard for Teachers or PPST. The main for focusing on effective curriculum design and planning. This emphasizes alignment with learning competencies, innovative teaching strategies, personalized instruction, and long-term planning. One notable teaching method introduced is the 5E instructional model, which stands for engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. It encourages interactive and student-centered learning. In addition, explicit instruction is a teaching method that provides clear and direct guidance to students, ensuring they grasp essential concepts. It emphasizes teacher-centered lesson. While traditional lesson plans are structured with clear objectives, instructional strategies, and assessment. However, they might not always as flexible or student-centered as more modern approaches. Finally, a table of specification, or TOS, for assessment is a tool to use to plan and organize assessments. It outlines the content areas and cognitive levels to be assessed and help ensure assessment align with curriculum and objectives. These elements collectively contribute to a well-rounded educational system encompassing curriculum design, innovative teaching methods, structured teaching, and effective assessment strategies.